Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new, welcome to my channel. My name is Jackie and let's get started. And today we're doing summer lemon DIYs. For DIY number 1, I'm going to begin by using quite a few of these tumbling tower blocks and some of the wood glue from super glue that Dollar Tree carries. And I'm going to start by stacking 2 together, and I'll make quite a few of these sets like this. And then I will take these sets and I will attach them onto each other to create a little bar of 3. So I'll be making 4 legs like this. So each bar will be 6 tumbling tower blocks. I'm going to set these aside, allow these to dry and set. In the meantime, I am taking one of these round wood plaques from the Dollar Tree. It's MDF, but it's a good size and it's pretty thick. I'm going to remove the jute twine. We won't be using that. And I'm going to take some painter's tape, put it on the back, because I'm going to fill these holes because they're pretty substantial. And I'm going to use these little pieces of remnant bamboo skewers. I use some of these bamboo skewers to create the swing from a couple videos ago, and these were just the little tips that were just extra, so I'm going to use those just that way I don't have to throw them away. I'm going to add some wood glue inside the hole and on the little peaks, these little points, and I'm going to stick them inside the holes. They fit pretty perfectly in there, so these will fill my holes to make them complete and filled. And I will allow all this to dry. Here I'm just removing some of the extra glue that kind of oozed out. See, they filled up pretty well and the tape is holding them in place. Now I'm going to take my finger sander and I'm going to sand these pieces smooth. That way they're not sticking up. They were sticking up just a tiny little bit, and this worked really well for this part. That way everything is a nice complete circle. Now I can remove this painter's tape. We won't be using this at all. Done with this. And disregard the 4 pieces of wood on the right side. We won't be using those. Instead, I'm going to use some more of the tumbling tower blocks, and I'm going to create a little frame underneath of this circle of this wood round. So here I'm just kind of staging it how I think I want them before I get the wood glue out. I think I'm pretty happy with this. So I'm just going to add the wood glue, put them in place one by one, getting it nice and straight, and then continue. I'm going to leave the corners open because the legs on the left are going to be going there, because I'm making a little stool for my decor in my kitchen. On my kitchen counter, it's just going to be a little thing. So now here I'm just going to add my wood glue onto the sides and the bottom. That way everything is nicely adhered. And then I'll just continue to add the rest like this. And I'll just continue to go all the way around, or should I say in a square. Here's my last leg. Add plenty of super glue, wood glue, and my last little tumbling tower block right here. Get everything nice and smushed, making sure everything's nice and tight. Now I'll set this aside, allow this to dry completely. I left it to dry for a couple hours. Probably don't need that long, but I had other things to do, so it just worked out perfectly. Now here it is, nice and dry and nice and solid. All the glue is set. I'm going to take the Waverly chalk paint in the color white, give it a nice good thick coat, cover up all of the tumbling tower blocks so that everything looks like it's one good thick piece, because that chalk paint is really thick, so it kind of works like spackle as well. I did do a little sanding of some of the areas, and now I'm going to take some Mod Podge in the mat and put a nice coat on the top of my little stool. Brush it on nice and thin, a nice full coat all the way to the edges. Allow this to dry for a minute. In the meantime, I'm taking this napkin that I had in my stash, and I'm just going to take this down to 1 ply. Of course, the lemons are so cute on here. I love this pattern. It's actually some cute lemons. And I'm just going to place this napkin on top. Now my Mod Podge is for the most part dry. There are a few areas where it's a little bit tacky, so I'm just trying to be real gentle with it, making sure that I don't have any bubbles, any air bubbles with this. Make sure everything nice and smooth. And once I'm happy with it, then I'm going to take a piece of parchment paper to protect my napkin, and I'm going to take my mini easy press on medium heat, and I'm just going to completely reactivate the rest of the Mod Podge that is dried, and that way it'll adhere the napkin onto the piece of wood, and I won't get any wrinkles. It'll be nice and smooth. You'll see all the effects right here, looking great. Now I'm going to take my finger sander and I'm going to go around this whole piece to sand off the excess napkin. Just taking my time, going all the way around like this. Just being real gentle. Now here, all I gotta do is kind of tuck it, pull it down, and it will all come off real easily, beautifully. Look at that, so cute. Now I'm going to take some more Mod Podge and I'm going to place a nice thin coat on top to seal it all up. Gotta have a sealer, so just kind of smooth it out, get it full coat, and also work on the edges. Don't want any of the edges to come up. That wouldn't be fun. So definitely do the edges like this, go all the way around, and then just allow all this Mod Podge to dry and set. Now here it is, nice and set, looking great, no bubbles. I'm going to take some of the antique wax and my chunky chippy brush, and I'm just going to go around and just lightly distress this whole piece on the underneath. Now if you don't want to distress, you don't have to. I'm just doing this because this is what I want for my kitchen, but if you just like it plain white, just leave it like it is. Or if you like to distress with a gray color, you could do that. I do like the antique wax, and a lot of this will tone down a little bit because my brush had some water. I'm going to also do the very top, so it won't be really strong. It'll be real light actually. You'll see it in the final reveal. So just continue to distress, and then that is it. I'm going to be done with this. Once I get all this distressed to my liking, that'll be it. And look at that, super cute. And here's how it looks, and a closer look at the final reveal. For DIY number 2, I'm going to repurpose this cookie tin from Christmas time. I'm going to take some Mod Podge and give the outside a nice full coat, good and covered. And also I'll do the top of the lid. We're going to decorate that as well, of course, because this is going to be a lemon themed canister by the time we're done with it. It'll be super cute for the kitchen. So just a nice thin coat like this, and then set this aside, allow it to dry for a second. It does dry pretty quick. Now I'm going to take some of this Dollar Tree outdoor acrylic paint, give it a good full coat. I'm going to take some more of the Mod Podge and the matte, give it another coat of this. The first coat was so the acrylic paint will adhere to this tin well, and then the second coat will be to adhere my napkin. So it'll be Mod Podge, acrylic paint, and then more Mod Podge. So once I get everything nice and covered, of course I'll do the lid as well. And I noticed that this particular method created some crackling, which I wasn't mad at. So that was pretty good. So I'm going to take this excess piece of napkin that I used from DIY number 1, the little stool. This was just an extra piece, and I'm going to place it on top of my lid and using some parchment paper to keep the napkin from scorching, and then my mini easy press to help reactivate the dried Mod Podge, so that way the napkin will adhere to the lid, to the paint, to everything that's there. Now I'm taking my finger sander to sand off the excess, and it does a pretty good job. Just I didn't want it to sand too much because some of the paint was coming off, So I'm just going to gently pull off the excess. And then for the rest, I'm just going to take my little lighter and I'm just going to burn it off. And this will actually give it a nice little burnt edge on it as well. Just kind of a little accent. So that's a plus. So I just go around it real quick like this. So I'm happy with it. Now I'm going to take another napkin, full napkin, remove the first layer, take it down to the one, and now I'm going to place it on the side of this tin, this cookie tin. And my Mod Podge is a little bit tacky in some areas, but dry in most areas. So I'm going to be careful, but I'm also trying to make sure it's nice and smooth to avoid any air pockets. So I'm just going to gently smooth this all the way around until I get it to the other side. It fits pretty perfectly. I did have a little tear, a little rip here on the napkin, but no worries. It's not a problem. I'm just going to kind of tuck it down. And now taking my piece of parchment paper and my mini easy press, and I'm just going to start to adhere and reactivate all this Mod Podge onto my napkin and my cookie tin in the same process as DIY number 1. And I'm just going to take my time, go all the way around and just smoothing it out, moving the parchment paper down to the next section, and just continue until I get the whole thing nice and pressed and adhered until I get to this point. Now everything is adhered. I'm going to take my finger sander again and I'm going to sand off this top part. Definitely don't need all this excess. And I don't throw away any of this excess napkin paper. Definitely could use it for other DIYs. So I'll save that in my lemon decor stash. And then shear off the bottom portion as well. This I'll throw away. This is too minimal. Now I'm going to take my Mod Podge again, add another layer of Mod Podge. This one is going to be to seal it up and protect the whole part, the whole DIY. That way if it gets wet, it doesn't start to dissolve or anything, because this will be in the kitchen, so it needs to be protected. So I'll just go around the whole thing, covering it. And then of course I do the lid as well. Gotta have that protected. Now my lid is pretty much done at this point. I'm not going to use the iron anymore. It's pretty smooth, wrinkle free, so I'm pretty happy with it. The cylinder itself, I am going to go over it with the parchment paper and mini easy press one more time, just to get rid of any wrinkles that have come up. But since I have a layer of Mod Podge on the outside this time, I have to let this parchment paper cool down and then gently peel off, very gently peel off my parchment paper. That way it doesn't pull off my napkin. So this is very possible. You just have to be gentle and take your time, be patient. I'm just going to go around the whole thing again. See, I'm just going to wait for it to cool down a little bit and then gently peel it off. See, just like that. And as you go around, you'll notice you won't have any wrinkles. It is absolutely wrinkle free at this point. So fun. This is a great hack, especially if you did get some air pockets or wrinkles. Yeah, this takes care of it. Here's my last section here. Again, I'm just going to rub it to kind of help cool it down and then gently remove the parchment paper. And look at that. Not a wrinkle in sight. So now I'm going to take some of this ribbon that I found at the Dollar Tree. It's just a yellow ribbon with some little scrolls on it. And I'm going to take a little bit of hot glue. And since the Mod Podge and napkin papers on the outside of this tin, I can trust the hot glue to adhere this ribbon onto it. Otherwise, I don't trust hot glue onto any kind of tin. It won't stay. It's very temporary. It'll just fall off with time. But being that it has the paint, napkin paper, and then the 3 layers of Mod Podge, I'm confident this will stay and it'll be super cute. So I'm just going to take my time, go around, add some hot glue, and adhere this ribbon just for a added touch on the bottom, make it nice and finished. Remove the excess, put in a little dab of glue, and I won't do the top because the top will need the lid to go on there, but I do the lid. The lid, I figure this is an opportunity here, so I'm just going to do the same thing with hot glue, and being that there's paint and Mod Podge on this lid, I'm pretty confident that this ribbon will stay on here. So I'm just going to go around in the same manner, just taking my time, pressing the glue down, doing another little bead, do little sections. Do little sections because the hot glue is hot and this tin is pretty cool, so it makes the hot glue kind of set quickly. So I'm just going to continue to go around this little lid on the side of the lid until I get to the beginning point right here. I think this is it. And then take my scissors, snip off the excess, and my little lid is done. Now for extra embellishments, I have these little lemon wooden beads from Amazon. One is a lime, the other 2 are lemons. And then some time ago, I found this roll of yellow jute twine at the Dollar Tree. So I'm just going to use some of this, and I'm going to thread this through these 3 little beads. I'm going to do a little bit of hot glue on the end to make a makeshift needle, and I'm just going to poke it through. And I'm also going to take my tweezers to kind of help put this through. And sometimes these little wood beads, they have like little pieces inside, so sometimes you have to kind of like wiggle some tweezers through. Anyway, I get it all the way through, get them all threaded, and then snip off a piece. I'm going to first see how much of this I'm going to need. Do a good double knot to tie, and I'm going to place it around this little canister for embellishment. I'm going to place the knot in the seam of the back and a little bit of hot glue to clear the lid. So just right below the lid area. And then that's it. I'm going to put my little lid on top, and just perfect for a lemon themed kitchen. Here's how it looks, and a closer look at the final reveal. For DIY number 3, I'm going to repurpose this pie tin, and I'm going to use some of this air dry clay that I got from Ross stores. It was only $3.99. It was a great deal. The thing with this stuff is it is super moist, so instead of kneading it on my table, I'm just going to place it in the tin and kind of work it onto the pie tin and kind of pressing it up. This worked much better, and it saved a lot of time. And now I'm just going to create the little crust by pinching it, making it a little bit wiggly or swiggly like we would. So I'm just going to keep working it until I get the shape that I want, going all the way around like this. Just taking my time, having fun. And I guess I'm showing you all this. But yeah, this will be my crust. Now I'm going to take some of this apple barrel acrylic paint in the color khaki, and I'm going to paint this whole crust with this color to give it that baked look. Now here it's all painted on the outside as well. I'm going to set this aside, allow some of this paint and clay to dry. Now I'm going to repurpose this tub that the air dry clay came in, and I'm also going to use up the remainder of this epoxy resin that I have in these 2 containers. There wasn't much in them, so I'm just going to go ahead and pour them into this tub. This tub does not have measurements, but since the walls are pretty straight up, I can kind of visually see how much I'm pouring in there. And like I said, this should be equal amounts in these because I've been using equal amounts in my other projects from other videos. So I'm pretty confident this would work just fine. And like I said, I could see on the wall, on the side of the wall, that it's the same amount as I'm pouring it. And it is. Now I'm going to take some of this yellow paint from Apple Barrel. It's acrylic paint. I'm going to pour some in there. It's a little bit too bright yellow, so I'm going to add a little bit of this territorial beige paint from Apple Barrel, just a little tiny bit. And I'm just going to mix really, really well until it's nice and mixed like this. It turns into this color. Kind of looks like lemon curd, I think. I think I'm pretty close to my color that I want, that lemon curd color. So I'm just going to scrape my whole bowl. I don't want to waste any of it. I'm going to use my little spatula that I have. It's just one of those face mask spatulas from the Dollar Tree, but it's a little spatula nevertheless, and it works great. So I'm just going to scrape off all this resin and paint, pour it in my pie shell. Now my clay is not dry, not yet. My paint kind of is, but the clay is not, but that's okay. We'll just keep working. So there is my lemon curd filling, my faux lemon curd filling. I'm just going to make sure it's nice and level. Set this aside, allow it to set overnight. Now here's the next day. I am taking my piping bag from the Dollar Tree, my little piping tip from my stash, and I'm going to place this in a cup to help hold it up. Open up the bag, and then I'm going to go into my stash of DAP Fast and Final lightweight spackling, which is getting me into the mood for some gingerbread stuff coming in July. I'm going to take my spatula again, and I'm just going to add some of this spackle into my little bag. I do about 3 good bunches of it. I don't need too much of it. I'm just going to need it for this pie. So now I'm just going to take all the contents down to the inside and close up my bag. Kind of twist it like a piping bag. As you can see, everything is nice and set. Now I'm just going to pipe a couple of full whipped cream rows on the inside edge of this pie where the pie crust meets the faux lemon curd. I'm just going to go around, take my time, go all the way around like this. Just get it to looking really cute. Felt like one row wasn't enough, so I went ahead and just repeated it again. I did it right on the side like this, make it look more decadent. So I'm just gonna go around. I just love this. This is so much fun. This is getting me in the mood for some gingerbread DIYs coming up. Oh my goodness, I can't wait. I have so many ideas. Okay, so now I get to this point. Now I'm going to add a nice glob in the center. And I'm going to go back into my plastic lemon stash. Place one in the center. And then I figure, wait a minute. Okay, I think this needs a little bit more whipped cream. So I'm going to do a nice little round around this big dollop. I feel like I needed just a little bit more, and I had it in my bag. So might as well just use it up. So I used up as much as I could. Went around the center to this point. Now I'm pretty happy with it. It's looking a little bit better. I still had spackling in my piping bag. So I'll set this aside, take a piece of parchment paper, and I'm just going to pipe some little dabs on this parchment paper. And then that way when they dry and set, I'll stick them in one of my little containers and I can use them for other DIYs in the future. So yes, there's absolutely no waste here. I'm going to use every bit of this spackling that's in here, and I will use it for future DIYs for sure. And once all of these are nice and set, then I'll just peel them off the parchment paper and put them in my little container, and then that is it. So here is my pie and a closer look at the final reveal. If you're on Instagram, here's my QR code. I invite you to scan it and come follow me on there. I post on there Monday through Fridays, as well as TikTok. Here's my QR code for there. Here is my QR code for Facebook, also Monday through Fridays, as well as my Pinterest. Here's my QR code for there. And here's my Lemonade account as well. And my Threads account. This is my handle, also Monday through Fridays. Here's my Hometalk QR code. I invite you to come scan it. Post on there twice a month. I do have a Facebook crafting group. I invite you to come join us there. And now we're at the final reveal. Let me know what you think and which one is your favorite one. Well, let's take a moment and say thank you for taking time out of your busy day and watching my video. I really appreciate it. Hope you guys did enjoy these lemon DIYs. I do enjoy decorating my kitchen in bees and lemons for the summertime. And I thought these were fresh and sweet. Hope you guys did enjoy this video, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet, and if you want to see more, definitely subscribe. Another lemon video is coming up next week. So until my next video, stay healthy, safe, and strong, and have a great day. Bye-bye.